सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागं स्वस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So last time, as I mentioned, there was just an introduction that was given in terms of what are Vedas, what are the what are the breakup of this particular Vedas in terms of mantra portion is there, Brahmana portion is there, and Aranyaka portion is there. So basically what we are looking at in terms of that differentiation is more in terms of what is told in that particular section. All Vedas have got this separation. In terms of some portion of it is more in terms of mantra. Mantras are those aspects which are used during a karma kanda, mainly. Karma kanda is when we do a yaga, yajna. There are so many responses that are there. In Brahmana portion, how you must conduct those karmas. So these are called Shastra Vihita karmas. Means those actions which Shastras are asking you to do. How one must lead life in terms of the different ashramas. So there is a brahmacharya ashrama, grihastha ashrama, vanaprastha and sannyasa. So every person's life goes through these particular aspects of life, and in those ashramas, how one must lead is what the Brahmana portion will tell you. Okay? Aranyaka, Ranna means actually sound. Aranya means where there is no sound. What we mentioned last time is, actually we are thinking that being in a city the sound is more, or being in a school sound is more, etc. But actually when you sit alone, sound is much more, because sound is internal. External sound we can control by moving away, but internal sound you can't control unless you control the mind associated with that or thoughts associated with that. So Aranyaka, when they talk about, very important that we create a environment in which you are able to focus your attention inwards in terms of sadhana, and that sadhana itself requires you to reduce the vibrations in your mind, keep them as low as possible. Yeah? That is what normally we are looking at in terms of Aranyakas. So broadly speaking, every Veda then will have a Karma Kanda and a Jnana Kanda. Why? Because in Aranyakas, you have something called Upanishad. All these Upanishads normally will be in that Aranyakanda. That doesn't mean that in Brahmana portion there is no Upanishad, in Mantra Upanishad there is no Upanishad, Mantra portion there is no Upanishad, nothing like that. There are, but majority of them come under the Aranyaka portion of the Vedas. And this Aranyaka, the Upanishad when we talk about, it is the Jnana Kanda is what the masters tell us. Means every Upanishad has got only one message, which is called that Brahma Jiva Aikya. That Brahman and the Jiva, they are one and the same, is the one simple message every Upanishad gives. Only language differ. The type of situation that is visualized is different from Rishi to Rishi. Ultimately, it is one message that Brahma Jiva Aikyam is Jnanakanda, and that comes under the Upanishad portion. How this Upanishad must be heard? Upanishad. I think Ramakrishna in our this one very wonderfully told couple of this ones that sitting near below is Upanishad. Means it doesn't indicate that one must sit down or Guru must sit up, so you must have a stage. Good that if it happens, because then we can see properly. But really speaking, it is not in terms of geography or the place, but it is more in terms of attitude. With what attitude I approach that Guru, that I am ready to receive that knowledge from Guru to me. So that is more important in terms of the knowledge flow that we talk about, and that is Upanishad we talk about. What is the major difference between this Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda? What we are telling is karma, we said, was of threefold, can be of threefold. It is called Kayikam, Vachikam, Manasam. Means one karma that is done with the body, one karma that is done with the speech, and one karma that is done with the mind. So these
the last one?
Manasam. Yeah? Kayikam, Vachikam, Manasam. So these three types of actions we always do. We engage in actions in these three terms. And we said there are four phalas, the results that will come. Normally we do talk about as dharma, artha, kama, moksha. We can split any of these actions that we are doing, the results that we get, or even the goals that we put. These are called purusharthas. We said, in the last time we said artha, kama, punya, because that has got this one, but normally we said dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Chaturvida purushartha phala siddhyartham. So when we do puja also we say that we require these results that are coming. Karma can give you only the first three. Artha, Kama, Dharma, or Dharma, Artha, Kama. You can take it that way. So these three are the results that will come out of the Karma Kanda. Any karma you do, it will be only these three results, you will get that. Then we must be happy. These are all defined by the Shastra, so I am getting three of them with karma, I should be happy. Then why there is a problem? Why we should go to Jnana Kanda? What they say is, any of these three karmas that are phalas that are there, artha, kama, punya, it is always dukkha mishritvam. Swamiji puts it as dukkha mishritvam. Means what? It is always associated with some dukkha, sadness. Means not only I get happiness, but there is a automatic inbuilt associated dukkha with that. Suppose I write an exam. Only one person can get first rank. All 99 of people, others are not getting first rank. I may get a second rank, but there is a dukkha inbuilt into it, telling that, oh, I should have got that. That fellow doesn't deserve. I am very happy I got the second rank, but I am not that happy with other fellow getting the first rank. Is first rank fellow very happy? He is always thinking that, oh, got first rank, I am very happy today, I achieved it. But can I maintain it? In the next class, that fellow is like a fox waiting at the bend, and I am sure he will hit me and he will overtake me. There is always dukkha mishritvam with any of the results that we get out of karma kanda. Yeah? And second aspect is, it is always apurnatvam. No result is complete in that sense. Purna is not there. Apurnatvam is part and parcel of any result we get out of karma. In the sense, for example, same exam, if you take, first fellow got first rank, but he got only 99.3%. Now that 0.7% is lost somewhere, and guy will be unhappy with this.
It's like our dads. Even if you get 100, they will say, oh, you should get 101.
Did you answer?
One more.
Did you
answer one more question and get more.
More than this one required.
100 rupees, 200 plus 1.
Correct. When you give donation also, we will put 101. So apurnatvam is one. And third most important aspect with karmakanda result, it is called bandhakatva. Means it binds you. Any karma, the result binds you. And that is the main reason for people getting into that type of, if you take a drug once, you may feel happy, but it is not the end of it. You get attached, you get bonded with that particular result. If it gives you happiness, you get bonded. If you get unhappiness, you get bonded with the type of action that I should not do. That keeps on eating into your this one. Whether it is relationships you take your action with respect to any object that you are getting. There is never a issue when you can do an action and have a desire, but you are not bound by the results of that desire. But this bandhakatvam, they say, is one of the three aspects that binds you. This karma, why it is not good for you, Swamiji says, is every result, whether good, bad, have got these three inbuilt background. You have these particular issues. You need to come out of that. Yeah? And that is the reason why Shastras say that you must go with Jnanakanda. And Jnanakanda, what it will give you? The fourth Purushartha, which is moksha. Now, what is moksha? Moksha is freedom from action. Now, when we say freedom from action, that means I will leave everything, retired life, I am sitting and I am not doing anything, not even lifting my finger or hand. No, it's not like that. The idea is when we say freedom from action, it is freedom from this karma kanda and the associated results that we are talking about. I don't have bondage, I don't have apurnatvam, and I don't have dukkha mishritvam.
One more thing, with this dharma, arth, kama, they also are temporary, right? Because they finish, they end. Whereas moksha.
Correct. Finite results. As we said, finite results is always finite in terms of time, finite in terms of quantity. Whatever we get, it is finite with the karma kanda. Whereas jnana kanda has got a slightly different connotation, that it releases me, freedom from action. Not in terms of physical action that I am taking out, but it is more in terms of the results. I am not bound by them anymore. I can have million desires, I can go and take up thousands of action, but I am not bound by the results that come through. I am not really, because I am denying the very reality associated with that mithyatva. That will come later once we go through what is Jnanakanda.
This the three stages of life or not?
Three stages of life is Brahmacharya, Gruhastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Each one of these you will have this. In Sannyasa, what you are supposed to do is that you take up this Jnanakanda at the expense of all other three. So I will not have any more Artha related goals for me.
So at some point you have to drop the karma.
Yes. Karmakanda, you have to drop it. You have to drop it.
You can do it with the...
Again,
No.
I am not dropping. Freedom from action doesn't mean freedom from action in terms of physical terms. Mentally, I am not bound. Suppose I am doing Karmakanda. For example,
is this the same like ownership? I am the doer?
A doer and bhoktritvam and kartrutvam. There are two aspects to any action.
Fruits of devoid of the fruits of action, I think.
Correct.
You are
Yeah,
trying to-
yeah.
When
Correct.
you are in sannyasa stage,
You,
you may do action.
but you're not worried
you
about
are
the
not
fruit.
geared towards fruits of action. When you are young, you do action,
With the
you
fruit.
expect some fruit also.
Correct. Here, actually, fruit will still be there. You can't avoid. As long as you
No,
do
if
karma,
but you are not
bound by them.
thinking. You are not
Yeah.
thinking in terms of fruits.
Correct.
Fruits of action. Because in a grahastha ashram, you are thinking fruits of action.
This is more than that. Let him say.
no, you are absolutely right in terms of that it is
99.3.
correct. Yeah. Still there is apurnatvam. But yeah, you are almost there. The idea is that a sannyasi, when he takes up a job, does it mean that he will not have any goal because I am devoid of result? No, I will still plan to be 100% successful in my taking my action. Problem always comes with if that expectation is not met, how I am reacting.
Yes.
That is called prasada buddhi. In our Sanskrit, this one is called prasada buddhi. Means what? I do this one. If I am getting what I am expecting, okay, good. If I am now sometimes it's more than what I expect. I am writing this thinking that I will get only 40 pass mark. I am getting 75 for some miracle. I am very, very happy. Yeah, I am get more. But if it is less than this one, Then if I went with only passing, I failed for some reason. So it can be less than that. Sometimes opposite altogether. I am expecting 80%, I went there, I failed in the exam. Completely opposite. So these are the 4 types of results which can come. Any one of them, a sannyasi will not get affected by that. He accepts that as a prasad from the Ishvara. So this Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, what we call, is what the freedom from action is. Okay? Now.
So, if something is not aligning,
Yes, please.
karma kanda associated with thought is what you're talking about. But karma kanda not associated with thought, there is no fruit, there is no expectation.
Then it is called actually karma yoga, no longer the karma kanda.
Right.
That is what Krishna says is what the freedom from action is. Karma yoga is what you are describing as freedom from action.
So this is not describing that.
Jnana kanda is describing that. Karma kanda will not describe, because any karma kanda you take up will have a associated action that you are putting. Even for example, Chinmaya Mission, if or a temple conducts a yaga, so there is always every yaga that is there, Chandi yagam or whatever you do, will have a specific result that you are expecting. May not be personal for you, but it can be for if suppose there is no rains coming, there is a drought in the country, you do yaga. You are not personally doing, but it may affect personally also, but you are doing for a higher this one.
So they are suggesting take the long road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what we said was the reason why we have the Upanishads to start with. Why we must have. Why we must go with Jnana Yajna, which Gurudev has started. Mainly because we should ultimately go there. May not be immediate, but ultimately we must reach that particular stage. As I mentioned, this mantra portion, Brahmana portion and Aranyaka portion. Now, there are some Upanishads, they are called as Mantropanishad. Means those things are coming in the mantra portion of the Upanishads, and they are considered as a higher level Upanishads. There is another called Brahmanopanishads. Some other, these are, we are looking at this one. That Brahmanopanishad is more in terms of an explanation of the Mantropanishad. That is how the masters who commented upon say that. In the sense, Brahmanopanishad will not be cryptic. It will have a structure. It will have a way the Rishi brings out the Upanishad, more details are given. Yeah, Mantropanishad requires much more intricate knowledge to give a commentary upon. So, master's commentary is required to understand the Mantropanishad. You cannot otherwise understand. Yeah, whereas Brahmanopanishad, easy to understand because the word meaning and the expected meaning are more or less same. Not always, but more or less same. We can at least understand the structure of the Upanishad in terms of this. It's more elaborate. So hence it is considered a lower level of Upanishad in that sense. Yeah, but really there is no lower or higher. It's only how the structure is more in terms of this. Now the Prashnopanishad what we are looking at is from Atharvana Veda. So this Shantipat what we saw was from Atharvana Veda Shantipatha. So many of the other Upanishads like Mandukya Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, all will have the same Shantipat. There's Om Bhadram Karnevi. It will have along with that.
So this is a portion of that
This is Atharvana Veda. Yeah. And Mundaka Upanishad is a Mantropanishad in that particular this one. And the Prashnopanishad is a Brahmana Upanishad, and masters like Shankaracharya, they commented that this Prashnopanishad is an explanation of Mundaka Upanishad. Yeah. When I read, I don't see immediate one-to-one because, for example, in Mundaka Upanishad, Karma Kanda, they talk about more in terms of actual karma, actual yajna that people are doing. So it talks about different types of fires where it will be there relative to what, all that will be there. But Prashnopanishad is more of a Upasana Kanda, not Karma Kanda. But they say both are karma anyway. So the explanation is more in terms of that. That's what they say. We will not go into that, but that is for more in terms of some research people are doing. Maybe it is required for them. Okay. We have read this Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha. Last time we quickly went through as to what they mean. Is basically what we are talking about is that Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha. Let my ears hear only what is auspicious. Let me not hear something inauspicious when this particular lesson is going on. Yeah? Om Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatraha. Oh, worship
this is
ones.
general for everything, right? It's not
Shanti
only
part?
for this Upanishad. It means may our ears hear what is good and auspicious always.
Always. But this every Upanishad will have a Shanti part. Means the person who is Guru who is expounding this, students who are listening, they want to tune themselves with each other and say that we will not at least fight with each other. That is what it is. And what is the end game of studying this, reading this? That is how this one will go on. Yeah. Om Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatraha means with our eyes we see only what is auspicious. Let us not see something which is not auspicious. And Stirai Angaihi means I have a sturdy limbs, means actually hale and healthy. Let me be hale and healthy. Stirai Angaihi Tushtuvagam Swasti Nobihi. Means why I require this? Vyashema Devahitam Yadayu. Means let me have all this, what we are talking about, for doing a worshipful prayer to you. The Ishvara you call or the Brahman you call, let me do that particular this one. Yeah? And Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha. Vruddhashravaha, that ancient god called Indra, let him bless us while doing this particular activity. And Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. So Pusha means actually the sun god. Yeah, sun god is what we are talking about. Pusha. Vishwavedaha means let the sun god, who is the giver of the knowledge, giver of that particular virility, the energy that we are talking about on the earth, let him bless us in terms of gaining this knowledge. Swastina Straksho Arishtanemi. This Arishtanemi is those whose journey doesn't end. Normally this also refers to Garuda. Garuda, who is the Vishnu's Vahana. We are also looking at Vayu is called as Arishtanemi. Means whose journey is cannot be stopped. So when the wind comes, none of them will stop. It will just go on and on. So Arishtanemi is it. So let that Vayu bless us. Swastino Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Bruhaspati is that guru of all devas we are talking about. So he is actually protector of the knowledge. So not only I receive with the blessings from all these devas, let Bruhaspati make that knowledge, make me retain that knowledge. Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Let us retain this knowledge also. So he is talking about receiving and retaining the knowledge. Let all these devas help us doing that particular thing. Let me be very healthy. Let me only hear auspicious things, see auspicious things, and I am doing all that for you to do some prayers to the Lord. That is what this particular thing is telling. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You all know the three Shantis are for Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, and Adhyatmika type of obstacles.
In the translation, it doesn't mention anything about Vayu. It says about the sun. May the son of the chariot of unchecked wheels grant us welfare. May the Lord of speech grant us welfare.
Okay, so that's why you should buy a book of Chinmaya Mission, and we will go through that. Yeah, but there are many different versions that can come through. Not a big issue in terms of whether they are referring to Vayu or not, or whether they are referring to only Garuda. The idea is that whose journey cannot be stopped. Now you decide what he is referring to. Whether it is Vayu he is referring, whether it is Garuda he is referring, because I have read at least these two definitely. This is the third one I am hearing. I am very happy with that. Okay. All right. So this is what we did in the last class. Now we will start the actual Upanishad itself. Yeah? So basically, if you see what we see in this, the structure of this particular Upanishad, we don't find in the verse itself, although it starts with that, it talks about that 6 different students from across the India. Where Pippalada is, we don't know, but they go to this Rishi called Pippalada Maharshi. Okay, Pippalada Rishi, they all go there. And these 6 people, when they go there, they want to ask questions to them. So there are 2 things here. Yeah? We talk about Brahma Jiva Aikyam. Correct? That is the ultimate message of this one. But when you read the Shanti part, I don't know whether it struck you or not, it is all Dvaita. We are talking about I worship to the Lord. Means what? I am not Lord. When will I worship somebody? When I am not that, I will worship. Yeah. So the entire teaching, we must understand, is in Dvaita. But the topic is Advaita. So this particular thing keeps on. If you once start thinking about deeply in terms of this Vedanta, it is always there is a conundrum in this as to why this thing is being told here. If Veda is the ultimate truth but no truth is there, and we start with Dvaita, and then we go back to say that it is Advaita, is the truth. Because we are used to Dvaitam and we live in Dvaitam. Not only live, but we lived millions of years in Dvaitam. So the teaching can only be in Dvaitam, but the concept that we want to understand is Advaitam. Remember, because Advaitam cannot be taught. What they say is, I think Gurudev only mentioned, to define is to defile. So if you want to define God, that is end of your Advaitam. The moment you define, it is gone. So keep that in mind. Whenever you read certain things, Rishis are trying to teach certain very subtle Advaita concept through Dvaita mechanism. Yeah? And that is the reason why all our Upanishads, including Bhagavad Gita, is in the form of a dialogue. We never talk about in terms of Rishi telling something and people blindly accepting. Shraddha must be there, but Shraddha is not blind faith. Although it is translated as faith, which normally means you must have faith, means what? No questions asked. But none of our texts you will find as where no questions are asked. Questions are always there, but the thing what that question must bring is that answer when something is given and it is not meeting my logic right now. I must start questioning my logic to understand what that particular sentence means. Yeah. So always this particular thing will be there throughout your learning, whether this Upanishad, that Upanishad, doesn't matter. Always keep that in mind, that every Upanishad gives you only one knowledge, Jiva Brahma Aikya. Okay. That's why the 4 Mahavakyas that we talk about coming from 4 different Upanishads and Vedas, they are not 4 actually, there are plenty of Mahavakyas in every Upanishad must have that, which gives that Jiva Brahma Aikya. So they are called Mahavakyas. Okay. So in this what happens, these 6 students come from different places to Rishi Pippalada, and they wanted obviously to ask certain questions. First verse, once we read, we will know what is the quality of these students who are coming there. They are not coming, they are not at a first standard or a pre-KG people, kindergarten guys coming and staying there. They are elders in the terms of this one. They are very small kids. No, they are not very small kids. They are the people who already gone through certain aspects of learning from their previous gurus, schools, parents, everybody. They come with a particular level of knowledge already available to them. Now they are not satisfied with whatever they have learned till now, and the people in their environment were not able to give them the answer to these questions what they have. Now they want to improve. Whether they are all in the same level? No, because they are coming from different places, from different environments. They are at different levels. That is how you will see the story developing. Now, once he comes there, once they come and ask that Rishi Pippalada, we are here to ask you a question and I have a doubt. I require you to tell me. Rishi says, in the second verse, he says that, okay, good, you have come. Now you stay here for 1 more year, doing seva for me. And at the end of that 1 year, you can ask your question. And if I know, I will tell you. But I will tell you fully. I will not hold back anything. I will give whatever I know, I will tell you in full. Now, this is the condition that Rishi puts for these 6 people. If any of our colleges or gurus tell to us that if one do 1 year, you can imagine the reaction that we will have for such a condition that Rishi is putting. But
so the question is put by all 6 the same question?
No. All put will different. Because they have come from different levels, as I was telling. They are not at the same level. They are different levels and different questions come. Sometimes you may feel that a question that is coming later is somehow depending on what question has come from the previous. So maybe the phrasing of the question is like that, but everybody had a question before they approached Pippalada. So they already have some doubts and they wanted clarification, and they knew that Rishi Pippalada has got capacity to give that. Otherwise, who will wait for 1 year doing seva and then do this one? Wait for that. It's not possible. But obviously, Pippalada had that understanding in the society that he has got enough knowledge to give that.
Pippalada, is he... do we hear about him anywhere else, or it's just here that we hear of him?
Atharvana Veda, actually Rishi Pippalada not only gave this one, there is a significant contribution from Rishi Pippalada on this. Okay. If you heard Ramakrishna recently on Bhagavatam, that 9 this ones, one of them is Pippalada.
Okay.
So he is a very well-known Rishi in those terms and days. He is a well-known Rishi. His contribution to...
When Gurudev was sent back to get the letter.
Correct.
He was?
When Gurudev was leave Rishikesh to go to...
the mountains to get the letter.
To what's...
Shivananda.
Tapovananda.
When he reached there, he had to wait. He was there, and some disciples or whoever were there said he's going to come back. So when he actually came back, he says, "Where is your letter?"
Right.
He didn't have the letter.
Yeah.
And in those days, to drive, it's over 6 hours.
Yeah.
In those days, you had to walk. So he went back and he wasn't happy, And then he went there. Then Swami said, he laughed and said, it's a test. He had to walk 2 weeks back to go there. So it's just a test. This year
How
is to see
sincere
how
he is.
sincere you are.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were talking about Pippalada.
No,
Gurudev.
I'm giving us
How he knew about it.
Most of us saw that movie.
Okay.
No, right. Yeah.
That is We'll come back here. We'll read the first verse. Yeah? I will read and you please repeat. Always good to do that. Om Sukesha cha Bharadvajaha.
Om Sukesha cha Bharadvajaha.
Shaibhascha Satyakamaha.
Shaivascha Satyakamaha.
Sauryayani cha Gargyaha.
Sauryayani cha
Gargyaha. Kaushalyascha Ashwalayanah. Ashwalayano it is there. Ashwalayano is there. Okay. Bhargavo Vaidarbhihi. Kabandhi Katyayanasye Nastye Haiti. Kabandhi Katyayana Aste Haiti. Brahmapara Haite. Brahmapara Brahmanishtaha Param Brahma अन्वेषमाणाः
अन्वेषमाणाः
एषः वै
एषः वै
तत्सर्वं
तत्सर्वं
वक्ष्यातीति
वक्ष्यतीति
तेह
तेह
समित्पाणयोः
समित्पाणयोः
भगवन्तं
भगवन्तं
पिप्पलादं
पिप्पलादं
उपसन्नाः.
उपसन्नाः.
So here the details of those 6 students is being given here. So their name, not only their name, something associated with them is also given. So he says Sukesha cha Bharadwajaha, means the son of Bharadwaja. His name is Sukesha. Bharadwaja is a son of this one that we are talking. Shaibhascha Satyakamaha. Shaibhascha, Shibi is the name. So son of Shibi is Saiba. Saibhascha means son of Shibi, and his name is what? Satyakama. Saibhascha Satyakamaha. Satyakama is name. He is son of Shibi. We don't know who is that Shibi. Maybe he is a Rishi at that particular time, because this word Shibi name is again popular in Veda terms. In those times, Shibi name is very this one. So you keep getting that in different Puranas also.
Is that your son's name?
No, this is Shivi. That is Shivi.
Shauryayani cha Gargyaha. Shauryayani cha Gargyaha means Sauryayani, the great grandson of Shaurya. And he is a great grandson. Means what actually? His name is Shaurya, but he has got a great grandfather who is alive. That is what that particular thing means. Yeah. Cha Gargyaha. He is from the clan of Gargya. Gargya is again, Gargya Rishi was there. One lady Rishi is called Gargya. So they belong to that Gargya clan. That's what they are talking about. Yeah? Kaushalya cha Ashwalayanaha. So son of Ashwala. So the name is son of Ashwala, and his name is Kaushalya. Kaushalya cha Ashwalayanaha. Bhargavo Vaidarbhihi. So this Bhargava, this is one who is born of clan of Bhrigu Maharshi, Bhargava. Maybe his name is also Bhargava, but he is from Vaidarbhihi. Vaidarbhihi, from a place called Vidarbha. Vaidarbhihi, from a place that he has come with that.
Place called what?
Vidarbha. Vidarbha, we know that Nagpur area is called Vidarbha Rajyam in those times. Yeah? And Kabandhi Katyayanaha, son of Katya, and his name is Kabandhi. This Katyayana also is one whose great grandfather is still alive. Sorry, I did not say that Sauryayani, that is grandson of Surya. Yeah, that is the other one is Sauryayanaha is grandson of Surya. Whereas here we are talking about Katyayanaha, means one whose great grandfather is still alive. That is what here. Sorry, I got confused with those two. Brahmaparaha, Brahmanishtaha. Now, who are these people? He says they are Brahmaparaha. One who is devoted to Brahman is Brahmaparaha. And they are Brahmanishtaha. They are steadfast in Brahman. Yeah? And those are the type of people who are coming to learn from Pippalada. Is what we are talking about. Param, supreme, Brahmam, Anveshamanaha. They are already Brahmaparaha, Brahmanishtaha, but they are also looking for the knowledge of Brahman. Yeah? Brahma, Anveshamanaha. This person, Sarvam, all Vakshati, means to him he is telling, seeking that highest Brahman, they approached Rishi Pippalada. They are coming to Pippalada. Pippaladam Upasannam. Last words that are there. So they approached Pippalada for this one. How did they approach? They approached with fuel in hand. This Samit Panayaha. Samit Panayaha. Samit means the dry sticks which the students are expected to take with them when they go first time to see a Rishi. There is this one, when you go to Guru, when you go to temple, when you go to some places, you don't go empty-handed. So here we are not looking at any money when they go to a Rishi like him, but you take something called samit. Samit means this is a dry this one, which you may use it for, or a neem tree this one, which you can use for this one. Samita, correct. So samit panayah, they all approached in a proper way. They approached the Pippalada, and they are looking for seeking this highest Brahman, the knowledge of highest Brahman. What it is telling you that when they talk about Brahmaparaha and Brahmanishtaha, Gurudev says, if they are already Brahmanishtaha, Brahmaparaha, they are not obviously, will not go for again looking for knowledge of Brahman. So here they are already Brahmaparaha, Brahmanishtaha in terms of Apara Brahman. Means that particular Brahman who is Saguna. Whereas now they want to knowledge of Nirguna Brahman, and hence they approached. Means already they have done all their response in terms of fourfold qualification. They went through that, and they went through all karma kanda. They already know how to conduct certain yajnas, yagas, everything they have done. But that is not giving satisfaction to these 6 people who came from different places. Means what? Everybody goes through karma kanda in those days, but after approaching certain limit in terms of that, if that is not giving them satisfaction, this cannot be the final truth, then such people used to go to higher universities, higher education, to do PhD. So they will approach that particular professor who is capable of guiding them in terms of that. Yeah, that is how and this Samit has got a very important aspect, because every student approaching Guru in any Upanishad or any Shastra will take this one. What does it mean? Gurudev says that this particular thing, actually the fuel in hand approach where we are talking about, it is a method of approaching, but also it implies automatic self-surrender to the knowledge the Guru can give, and the knowledge of the Brahman, that Shraddha must be there, and this Samitpana is more in terms of this. Yeah? So everybody approaches means a self-surrender. How it becomes self-surrender? Normally, if you see in a forest area, or you cut a wet tree and you try to put fire to it, it will take lot of heat, lot of effort to put fire to a wet branch which comes out,
Or a green tree.
Green tree. Very, very difficult for us to do. When forest fires is a different issue and different level of burning that we are talking about. Yeah. So normally we are all wet trees or wet twigs. Yeah. None of the Jnanagni can burn us. It will come, it will go away. We may approach, we may go there, sit next to the fire, but we don't catch fire. So this Samitpana is the dry, this one that we are talking about, means what? I have already gone through a process of Vairagya. Vairagya, a dispassion must be there in us, which will take out this wetness. When we approach the Guru, final Guru who can give that Brahma Jnanam, we are like those dry twigs where we are ready for catching fire with the knowledge, that the fire of knowledge that comes from the Guru. So this is another version of why that Samit and why they go, and why it is a self, the symbol of self-surrender.
You're ready to absorb.
We are ready to absorb. Yeah, that is what it is, more of a condition of the person that we are looking at. We will quickly read this and close. Yeah. Tanhasa Rushirvacha Bhuya eva tapasa Brahmacharyena Shraddhaya Samvatsaram Samvasthyatha Yatha Kamam Prashnan Pruschatha Yadi Vijnanasyamaha Yadi Vijnasyamaha Sarvam Bhavo Vakshama iti. So here Rishi is telling that you stay here for samvatsaya. 1 year you stay here. Doing what? Doing tapasa, brahmacharya, shraddhaya. These 3 aspects that he said, you sit there, do your tapas, do your brahmacharya, and Shraddhaya Samvatsaram Samvasthata. Sit here for 1 year doing that. And Yathakamam Prashnan Pruschati. Then you can ask any question that you have. And Yadi Vijnanasyam. If I know, then Sarvam Havo Vakshamai. Everything I will tell you. We'll go through this in the next class as to what is the importance of this word tapas, shraddha and brahmacharya. Very important in terms of our lifestyle changes we want to make for us to get this type of knowledge. Yeah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
I'll ask that you all stay back for the
Thank you.
AGM. So